Hi there. The word.
Good morning. How you doing this morning? Hey, happy Monday to you. Woo, coming out of the weekend, coming out of Mother's Day, coming out of a hot Sunday. Yeah, some warm temperatures yesterday. Looks like we have some great weather ahead and a great show ahead. Good morning. I'm Perry, along with Paulina and Steve.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday, everybody. Come out of Mother's Day okay?
I did.
All right. Full? Fat and happy? Okay. Well, anyway, we got a great show put together for you today. Of course, we have all the news, the weather, sports, everything you need to know to get you up and going for your first day of the new week. We also have a great hour coming up with some special guests coming up at 8 o'clock. So, you know, quite a show put together for you today. And also, we got good coffee to say. I think, Steve, you...
you like it
It's
this
either
morning.
my taste buds or my energy level or whatever it is. I've had one sip, and so far it's good.
Did you have coffee this weekend?
No. I
See?
don't drink coffee on the weekend.
Absence makes a heart grow fonder. That's what we say. We should have that on the Dove coffee. Absence makes a heart grow fonder.
There we go.
We'll come up with
Well,
that.
I put that on the Dove mug.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning to you. It's about 2 minutes now past the hour. Let's take a quick look at the weather for you and see what's happening on the weather scene. The forecast for Medford, Ashland, Grants Pass, and vicinity, as you can see, warm temperatures today. 84 going to 86, back to 84. We could see some afternoon thunder bumpers. We'll keep an eye on that, as that warm temperature will create some thunder activity around the hills. Over in the basin this morning, Klamath Falls coming in with, again, the possibility of some afternoon thunder showers. 84 for a high today, and still staying in the low 80s right on through Wednesday with some clouds and sunshine mixed together. Along the southern Oregon coastline for the next 3 days, calls for some showers today, around 60 for a high. And then clouds and sunshine for Tuesday and Wednesday, staying in the low 60s. And Northern California, well, you're in for warm weather down there and some afternoon thunder bumpers. Yep, 87 for a high today, bumping to 90 for tomorrow, 87 on Wednesday. Again, sunshine mixed in. And with the heat, those afternoon thunderstorms will build up. And that's what we'll have in the afternoon, so be careful, okay? In the meantime, it's 60 degrees outside the studios with some clouds kind of mixed together, but the sunrise and the color this morning is spectacular. Yeah, it looks pretty nice out there. I tell you what, the best thing you can do is get up and pour yourself a cup of Steve's coffee and grab your Bible or your devotional and get into the Word and let the Word get into you.
Hi there. The word for you today is know your enemy. In 2 Timothy 2, verse 3, Paul writes, endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. The new birth creates a battle between your old nature and your new one. You see, when you were redeemed, you were actually recruited into this battle, and it begins the moment your eyes open each morning. So the big question is, will you hold up or will you fold up today? Well, victory depends on knowing your enemy's strategy and having a plan to deal with it. As a follower of Christ, the attack you face each day is twofold. First, there's the attack that comes from without. James 4 and verse 4 says, know ye not that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. Now be careful here. That doesn't mean distancing yourself from all your unchurched friends and denouncing their activities. Nor does it mean adopting a holier-than-thou attitude toward people. No, it means that instead of the culture affecting you negatively, you engage that culture and begin to influence it positively, like light in the darkness. Susanna Wesley defined the word worldliness as 4 things, and here they are. Number 1, whatever dulls the sensitivities of my spirit toward God or takes the fine edge off my thought of him must be ruled out, for he is my Lord. 2, whatever injures or weakens my body or affects the mastery of it must be ruled out, for it is the temple of the Lord. 3, whatever adversely affects the clearness of my witness to Jesus Christ before others must be ruled out, for it was his parting wish that I should be a witness of him. And 4, whatever may cause my brother to stumble in his Christian life must be ruled out, for that would grieve Jesus. Think about it.
All right, I am going to think about it, Bob. Know your enemy. Well, there's a word for you today. Take time to be in the Word, and if you're not getting this devotional, would you let us know? The new ones will be coming out in a couple of weeks. We want to make sure you get one, and if you want one of the current editions, come on by or give us a call or go online at theDove.us, and we'll get one in the mail to you right away. All right, it's about 5:30 now past the hour. Well, it looks like they're dealing with some issues of food, Steve?
Yeah, that's right. And is it natural, a la natural, or genetically altered? A group of local farmers and food activists want Jackson County to pass an ordinance banning the planting of genetically modified plants here in the southwestern Oregon County. Commissioners say that they're looking into the issue, including whether they could legally pass this kind of a county law. Members of the group GMO-Free Jackson County asked commissioners last week to ban plants with genetic alterations without a citizens' initiative. Well, the second week of the Eagle Point strike begins this week with students returning to classes. Today, students return to classrooms despite protesting teachers and staff. Many will be taught by substitutes and teachers who've crossed the picket lines. Mike Remick, representing the district administration, says they've mailed a schedule of where and when classes will take place throughout the district for parents to send their children.
We'll have White City Elementary will be open on Monday, and they'll have a number of schools that will be feeding into that, and then the high school will be open, and the middle schools will be feeding into the high school, and so they'll have high school and middle schools at different times of the day. So it won't be all the same population, be different groups that will be in there, and then Shady Cove will be open, and they will have Elk Trail students that will be there as well.
Now, if you need more information, you can call the school this morning. The number's 541-830-6697. Negotiations on the teachers' union side and those representing the administration talk start up again tomorrow. Well, just days into Oregon's first season of mandatory boat inspections, Department of Wildlife and fish officials have already discovered 2 watercraft carrying invasive mussels. Last year, when the program was voluntary, inspectors found 6 boats all season with quagga or zebra mussels. The mussels have already invaded the Great Lakes and other American waterways, causing millions of dollars in damage. The Oregon Supreme Court has ruled that people suspected of drunk driving are not off the hook just because their blood alcohol content is measured below the legal limit. The court decided to allow expert witness testimony concluding that a driver's alcohol level was above the legal limit at the time he was stopped, even if it had fallen below 0.08 before it was measured. Well, the city of Medford may have to decide of a painting on its local pipe shop and whether it's a mural or graffiti. During business hours, you can't see much of the painting that's on the front of the 42-degree store in central Medford, but when the store closes and the security shades come down, there's more to see. That's what has apparently caused some residents to complain to the city about the 2-week-old painting. They say it violates the sign code, but co-owner David Parnell says it doesn't meet the strict definition of a sign.
There's no words, there's nothing to advertise our business. All it is just paint on our building, just like any other place that chooses to paint. But for some reason, the neighbors don't like us, and they feel that it represents what we sell in the store and feel that we're bringing down the neighborhood, as they say it.
Now it looks as if the city attorney may get involved. Parnell says he's been told the next step is to decide on the category of the front of the business and whether it's a sign or a mural. Well, a groundbreaking ceremony will take place today at 11 a.m. for the Ashland Fire Station 2. Last week, demolition of a 4,000-square-foot station built decades ago made way for the 10,000-square-foot plus facility that will be built on the same site. New structure has been designed to meet the LEED Silver standard and include sustainable features such as water-permeable concrete and pavers and solar water heating. Well, if you need a little inspiration on this Monday, and who doesn't on a Monday?
Yes.
I've got some inspiration
Well,
for you.
good.
From our Never Too Old category. And we've got quite a few of these Never Too Old stories to impart to you, so I just tell you about one of them this morning. Let me tell you about 70-year-old Carol Stromitz. Now, 70 for young people is old. For older people, it could be young. So it all depends where you are in life as you view this. But 70-year-old Carol Stromitz is now a college graduate. That's right, she got her diploma with the class of 2012 at the University of Southern Mississippi. She says she was so emotional she thought she was going to cry. Getting used to going to class, she said, in the 21st century was an adjustment. She says today's students are so plugged in. They've got the iPads, the Kindles, and the computers, and she kind of had to catch up to all of that stuff. So she credits her classmates with encouraging her. So congratulations to 70-year-old Carol Stromitz. She did it. She got her degree.
Well, congratulations, Carol. Good for you. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good morning to you. 10 minutes now past the hour, and we're looking at about 60 degrees with some sunshine and clouds mixed. The color rise this morning was pretty nice. And we have some warm weather right on through most of the week into the low 80s. Well, it is that time of the morning where we just kind of wait with anticipation, great anticipation. I mean, we are sitting here so overwhelmed with anticipation that I can't wait to talk about it.
Talk.
That's a lot of anticipation.
Yeah.
It's Carly Simon all over again.
It is the it is the Facebook question of the day. Paulina, dun, da, da. We need a little sounder for you.
We do. Well, this weekend I went to wildlife safari. You know, the
You did.
Winston-
You know, I've been meaning to go to that, and I haven't made it there yet.
Yeah, well, I don't remember the animals because I was watching the kids inside the car. So,
Those
but there were
animals.
animals outside. But and then Steve and I this morning were talking about how some animals, especially when you get a pet, sometimes resembles you. You know, you look like the pet.
Have you ever
walk
noticed that? A
like-
guy walking a bulldog, he kind of looks like the bulldog. You know?
Yeah.
Somebody might look like a little chihuahua or hyper.
Big ears.
I wonder if there's someone who looks like a chihuahua, if he gets a bulldog, will he become more
Bulldoggy. Bulldoggy.
Yeah.
Could be.
Anyway, what animal best describes you is the Facebook question today. And tell us why you think that is.
What animal best describes you and why?
Now, it wouldn't necessarily it could be the way they look, but it could be the temperament as well. Mm-hmm. You know, I think so. Why not? It's our own Rorschach test, I guess, of animals, right?
Yeah, well,
that would
we'll
be good.
analyze.
You know, we'll have to think of what animals. We
Anything
should do
comes-
that here. I should think of what best describes you and Perry and vice versa.
So we're going to
Crossover.
Examine,
cross-examine
which is the
here.
name of a whole nother show.
Yeah, we give meaning to cross-examine, new meaning to cross-examine. Well, that's kind of interesting. So what kind of an animal best describes you?
And why? And the and why is really important. If you just say a poodle, that doesn't mean say much.
Yeah, a poodle, because I have curly hair?
Could be.
Okay.
That
Well,
wouldn't be you.
whatever it is. I'm thinking about it. The first thing that came to mind to me when you just said that, I thought, hibernating bear.
But I think that's more of a wishful thinking.
This is a time for truth, is what you're saying, right? Yeah.
Yeah, tell
We'll
us
cut
who you
through
really
the wishful
are.
thinking and get down to the
I was
truth.
just thinking, what's wrong with a hibernating bear?
Nothing. It's perfect.
You know?
But aren't you really?
The big and furry, and they're asleep.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
You could be, a psychologist, Kevin Lehman might say you're living in denial because you certainly don't hibernate, but you wish you did.
Oh, I see.
See,
Yeah,
we're
that's what
talking
I'm
about
saying.
what is it? What is the animal?
Where's
Yeah.
Kevin when we need him?
We don't need him. We'll make
Okay.
it up here.
Okay. All right. So, okay, I'm just trying to think. You gave me a good thought here, Steve.
Oh, yeah?
I'm trying to think what best describes you and
I
what
don't know if I
best
like that
describes
idea.
Paulina.
Okay, well, next time we come
wanna
back to
hear
the
from our
Facebook question,
listeners.
we'll talk about each other's.
All right. Well,
Do
we
some introspection from our listeners.
All right. Let us know what animal you think best describes you and why. We got to have the why part because that helps us. All right. Good morning to you. It's about 14 minutes now past the hour, 6 o'clock, 60 degrees outside. Coming up in a few moments, we have a story about Mother's Day church attendance. Do you think it's up or down?
Oh, good question. I would up or down. Ooh, I'll say I think it may be up. I'm just
Okay.
making a wild guess.
All right, we'll tell you about that coming up in a few moments. In the meantime, let's take a quick look at the temperatures around the neighborhood this morning as we see very mild temperatures, which is an indication of warm days. 56 degrees already in Klamath Falls this morning. Pushing 50 degrees down in Wairika, the coastline, 50 in Brookings and Gold Beach, 52, Port Orford, Coos Bay, and 58, almost 60 degrees up around the Roseburg, Douglas County area for Canyonville and Myrtle Creek. And for the Grants Pass and Medford areas, we're looking at 60 to 61 degrees with a little bit of clouds and sunshine mixed out there. So it's going to be warm into the 80s most of the week. And then it cools as we get towards Friday. We'll keep you updated on that. In the meantime, more news with Steve Johnson. What do you have for us?
Well, it looks like a state program may have overpaid some foreclosures, and we're talking about a lot of money. We'll tell you what the problem is coming up.
Well, there you go. Money back from the state?
Yeah, well, it kind of was overpaid. I mean, it's your money paying for people who maybe shouldn't have gotten it. We'll tell you about it.
Okay, do you have to refund it?
I'm not sure how they're gonna have to figure out what to do about it, but I'll tell you about the problem anyway.
All right, we'll solve that problem coming up in about 2 minutes here on the morning show.
Airport, the only name you need to know.
This is the third and this is the fourth car I've bought at Airport Chevrolet.
We did our research and we know we save money.
I love that the service department is open on Saturdays.
Compared to the dealerships back home in Texas, Airport's the best.
For the greenest of lawns and amazing gardens.
The Grange knows.
For happy pets, backyard birds, and that perfect gift.
The Grange knows.
For the ranch and the farm. Or a great pair of jeans.
The Grange knows.
For helpful advice, come to the experts that know, or find Floyd online anytime. Grange Co-op.
Let's grow.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Why are you still sitting on that couch? You know you could be out there cooking for a living. You speak food. That's why you got to call Le Cordon Bleu. They'll help get you out there with training in less time than you think. Sounds good, right? So grab your phone right now and call Le Cordon Bleu. They'll send you a complimentary career guide so you can see what it's really like to work in the culinary arts.
Call 1-800-761-0650 or text GOLCB25 to 94576. Call or text now.
Did you call yet?
Hello, everyone. I'm Perry Atkinson. Every weekday morning, it's at 8 o'clock. Join us for Focus Today. It's a live call-in show. We have great national guests, local guests. We deal with apologetics, science, religion, all kinds of things. And you are a part of the show when you call in. And then weekday evenings at 7 and 10:30, Focus Today Prime Time, where we take the best of the morning show and replay it in the evening for your enjoyment. So be sure to join us for these two shows right here on the Dove TV. We'll see you then.
I shopped 4 dealerships in Redding and got the best deal at Airport.
What makes Airport #1 is their quality of product and their service.
I tell people to go to Airport Chevrolet because they have great deals on Camaros.
Airport, the only name you need to know.
It's Mornings on the Dove at 18 minutes now after 6 o'clock. I'm Steve Johnson. Of course, you can check out Mornings on the Dove at Chartered Channel 18, on the Dove Radio, and streaming at thedove.us. Here's what's happening in our headlines today. State program to help prevent foreclosures has struggled to efficiently distribute more than $220 million in federal taxpayer money to Oregon homeowners. The program awarded $1.7 million to 242 homeowners who were later determined to be ineligible for that program. It paid $750,000 to a private company to help homeowners refinance, but after more than a year, only 11 mortgages have been refinanced. Well, lawyers for John Edwards began presenting their case today in the trial against the 2008 Democratic presidential candidate. He's also accused of using money from wealthy donors to hide his pregnant mistress during the campaign. Edwards denies those allegations. A biting new TV ad by the Obama campaign cast Mitt Romney as a job-killing corporate titan with little concern for the working class. It'll run in 5 battleground states, including Iowa, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Romney has accused President Obama of attacking free enterprise. Both candidates are entering a new week in the campaign, looking to shift the focus back to the economy. Well, it is back to school for students in the Eagle Point School District. The 4,100 students in the 11 schools will be seeing some familiar faces of teachers who've crossed picket lines, as well as those of fill-in substitutes. The strike continues into its second week, though negotiators won't be back at the table until tomorrow. The district's Mike Remick says all students in the district will be able to attend school through classes, and though they may be at different schools and at different times than before the strike.
We're hopeful and encouraging all parents to send their children to school. There will be bus schedules, and there will be schedules, and schedules have been sent out to parents to let them know if they're either the AM schedule or the PM schedule.
Now, while parents were mailed a new strike schedule, more information is available by calling 541-830-6697, and we've got that number if you need that here at the station. Well, Oregon's expected drop in fuel tax revenue is sending officials into new directions for assessing road user taxes. The proposal of measuring mileage and giving drivers a choice in how it's done is once again being floated. A task force working on the issue in the Oregon Department of Transportation in 2006 looked at a GPS-based system that could track the miles a vehicle was driven. The idea drew opposition because drivers feared it could be used for surveillance. Well, tomorrow is the Oregon primary election. Ballots are cast by mail, and if you haven't mailed yours in, make sure you take advantage of the drop boxes around the county.
Those are at the Eagle Point Branch Library. We have a 24-hour drop site there that sits right out in front of their main door. Central Point Library, same thing. Ashland Public Library around the back side of the building on the main entrance. Of course, the Jackson County Elections Office right at the front of the building. We have a drive-up that you can drive your ballot right up there and drop it off, or you can bring it inside if you're more comfortable doing that.
That is Jackson County Clerk Chris Walker, and there's also another drop site available at the Central Point City Hall. Ballots are due tomorrow by 8 p.m. Well, today marks what may be the most important day of the perjury trial of pitching great Roger Clemens. With a preview, here's Jim McCoy.
Roger Clemens' chief accuser is expected to testify against the former pitcher. It will be a make-or-break moment for the prosecution as it seeks to convict Clemens of perjury. Brian McNamee, Clemens' former strength coach, takes the stand today as the trial enters its 5th week. McNamee says he injected the 7-time Cy Young Award winner with steroids and human growth hormone. Clemens is accused of lying to Congress when he denied using the drugs. A lot rides on McNamee's testimony, especially after the government's other key witness, pitcher Andy Pettit, wavered in his appearance 2 weeks ago. With sports, I'm Jim McCoy.
Thank you very much, Jim. Well, okay, we're going to continue our little series we have this morning about You're Never Too Old.
You're never too old.
You fill in the blanks. Let me tell you about the world's oldest backpacker.
Oh.
This guy does a lot of backpacking. Take a guess how old he is.
84.
Is his name
84.
Bruce?
No, his name is Keith.
Oh, Keith. You sure he doesn't look like a Bruce?
I'll even tell you more. Keith Wright. Boy, that'll fill you in.
Okay, he is, would you say?
84.
86.
Cheater.
He is 95.
Whoa.
He was a World War II veteran from Australia's Gold Coast.
Really?
I imagine he likes his shrimp on the barbie.
On the barbie.
I don't think they say that there, but we like to think they did.
Yeah.
Guess what? He didn't actually even really leave. I mean, World War II, he was around different places, but he didn't enjoy his first trip abroad doing any kind of hiking till he was around the age you guys mentioned, 85. That's when he started doing this. He's 95. He's been bitten by the travel bug. He's ready to do a solo 2-month backpacking jaunt to Europe.
Whoa.
This is amazing. He planned this 2-month itinerary, including Madrid, San Sebastian, Paris, Munich, Vienna, and a trip to Britain because he wants to see racing at the Royal Ascot. That's pretty cool.
Well, there you go. He's
And
going to hike all this?
It's all with a backpack.
And he started at 85?
He did.
Wow.
He took up traveling after his wife died, and he saves up his pension, and just about every 2 years he's able to do some of these big trips. So this is a pretty big one, actually. Here's a quote, and I won't give you his Australian accent because I'd be terrible at it.
Oh, come on.
But he said,
Come on, mate.
I've had itchy feet all my life. That's how I normally talk. And always wanted to go to Gallipoli on Anzac Day. So he sounds like Winston Churchill, no doubt.
Yeah. Good day,
So
mate.
he says, so I decided to sell our house and put the extra money towards a holiday. And ever since then, so he's been doing this for quite a few years now. He's 95. Good job, Keith Wright.
Okay,
You're
Keith.
never too old.
Keith
and
is
neither
spending
Keith.
his kid's inheritance.
I guess, yeah. He figured, why not?
Yeah, why not? Good for you, Keith. Hang in there, buddy. Go for it, man.
Oh, wait a second. I have a shrimp on a bobby, Perry.
Oh, there we go. Good day, mate. Good morning to you. 23 minutes now past the hour. 60 degrees outside with some clouds. And, all right, Mother's Day, church attendance. You said it was up, Steve?
Oh, I'm taking a wild guess.
You are absolutely right. Woo-hoo. According to this, Mother's Day is now the 3rd highest church attendance day in the U.S.
Really? Okay, let's see. Do you have 2 and 1?
Easter
Don't
and
say
Christmas.
that. It's going to guess.
He was going to ask.
Okay.
guess
Are you trying to
the
play
easy
me and
ones.
ask questions?
I guess so.
Okay. No, it's Easter, Christmas, then Mother's Day.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
church attendance. So it looks like a lot of you went to church with Mom. So you ought to just follow Mom to church every Sunday.
Or maybe you go to church and your mom doesn't, so drag her next Sunday.
Well, there you go.
Could be any combination.
Get mom in church one way or the other. Anyway, but here's the interesting thing. Where do you think Father's Day is on this list?
Way down.
It is. It's the lowest.
Wow.
Because fathers go fishing.
We have work to
do.
We have work to do, yes. Get out there and fix that fence. Mow that lawn. Take those weeds out.
Tote that barge.
On
Lift
Saturday.
that bale.
There we go. Flip that burger.
Oh, I like that.
All right. So anyway, Mother's Day was a very large day of church attendance, the third highest of the year. All right. We can handle that. It's looking good. All right. What animal, right, best describes you and why? Mm-hmm. And have you got any responses yet?
Well, you had a response during the break.
I did. I think you are a baby female tiger.
A baby female tiger.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting into chronology.
No, it's
here.
not baby female tiger. It's
Well, she
baby
appears to be.
female tiger.
Oh, I see.
But she
You have to
appears.
specify.
Well, she appears to be soft and cuddly. But boy, can she scratch.
Wow.
What do you think?
Maybe that's more like an iguana. They got real sharp, pointy.
Oh no! They have this little, cute and fuzzy and cuddly, and then all of a sudden.
Maybe I shouldn't have asked that we decide on each other.
Have you thought of Steve?
Have I thought of Steve? No.
Like I said, maybe I shouldn't have suggested that we do this.
I was going back to what describes a person. I was going to go back to a Harley, but since it's an animal,
that's an animal. Some people would say a Harley is an animal.
Yeah, so I don't know. Anyway, so what's the question there, Madam Tiger?
Don't be scared.
Yeah. Isn't it what animal best describes you and
yes,
why?
Yes, what
we
animal
find
best
out
describes me. And apparently I'm a baby female tiger. I'm not sure why baby, but sure, I'll take it. Better than some other things you could have said.
But you haven't got any response?
No,
okay.
Yet,
all right, let us know. Go to the Dove Radio Facebook page and let us know what animal best describes you and why. All right, we can handle that. Well, coming up, looks like we have some comments of Michelle Obama and Mitt Romney. We'll tell you how they are talking about each other. Mitt Romney also spoke at a couple of colleges over the weekend, and the president spoke at a church over the weekend, and the pastor scolded him again, another pastor. So we'll tell you about that. In the meantime, let's take a look at the forecast. For Medford, Ashland, Grants Pass, and vicinity, warm days, and that's going to produce some afternoon thunderstorms. Looks like that's the case for today with a high of about 84. Still staying in the mid to upper 80s through the rest of the week, but we could see some thunder activity later on this afternoon. So be aware of that and be careful if you're in and around that. Over in the basin this morning, Klamath Falls, same thing, warm days all the way through. 84 to the low 80s through the rest of the week. Could see some thunder activity later on this afternoon there in the basin with the hot afternoons. Along the coast, rain already today with a high around 60 and then some sunshine and clouds mixed together for Tuesday and Wednesday. Northern California, well, you can expect some thunder activity down there in the Mount Shasta, Wairika, Siskiyou area. With the temperatures quite warm, 87 for a high today, moving to 90 tomorrow, 87 on Wednesday, and again, expect the possibility some thunder bumpers later on this afternoon. Currently outside the studios, we've been kind of bumping around between 58 and 61 degrees. Right now we're 59 degrees with some sunshine and clouds mixed together. Beautiful morning in Southern Oregon. All right, good morning to you. Coming up next, more news. Steve, what do you have for us?
Well, it is the second week now, starting of the Eagle Point strike, but kids are going back to school. We'll tell you, and if you're a parent, what you need to know about doing that.
All right, we'll have these stories and all the news, everything you need to know to get you rolling on your Monday morning right here on The Morning Show.
When I talk with other moms, we are concerned about the crime that we see in the headlines. Something different needs to be done.
We've got to find someone with a leadership ability, and I believe it's Rob Patridge for District Attorney, so we can feel safe again.
I'm a watercolor artist, and I have to take my paintings to galleries everywhere, including the Road Gallery and Art Center. So of course, I love my Subaru. I just lay down the back seat and these babies slide right in. I used to drive a Toyota, but my Subaru has more room, is quiet, and gets better highway mileage. I'm Barbara, and that's what makes a Subaru my Subaru.
Southern Oregon Subaru on Biddle Road, Medford.
I love my Subaru.
Hi, I'm Tim the Timinator from Four Seasons Nursery. Thank you for watching and supporting the Dove and Christian Broadcasting. Like the folks at the Dove, we at Four Seasons value honesty, integrity, and quality. So if you're looking for great garden products such as vegetables, flowers, shrubs, or trees, come by and check us out. I'm sure you'll find the success you're looking for.
Four Seasons Nursery, half a mile north of Vilas Road on Crater Lake Avenue.
Marriage, family, and relationships.
Feelings, feelings, feelings.
Got questions?
Somebody sent in this question, so we thought, let's just do a show around this question, because everybody wants to know.
John and Helen have got an answer.
We hear things like marriage is 50-50. Whenever I hear 50-50, I'm hearing 100 me, 0 you.
Love is more than emotion. Love is where you are willing to give your life for somebody.
Relate. 9 o'clock tonight on the Dove TV.
We need a DA that can make criminals think twice before they act. Rob Patrick is a former deputy district attorney. He has the experience and the leadership that Jackson County needs. I think he is the man that can bring change to the district attorney's office.
Rob Patridge for district attorney.
It's Mornings on the Dove at 6:30. I'm Steve Johnson, where you can, of course, see the Dove TV at Charter Channel 18. Also hear the morning show on the Dove Radio and stream it at thedove.us. Here's a look at what's happening in our headlines today. It's back to school for students in the Eagle Point School District. The 4,100 students in the 11 schools will be seeing some familiar faces of teachers who've crossed picket lines, as well as those of fill-in substitutes. The strike continues into its second week, though negotiators won't be back at the table until tomorrow. The district's Mike Remick says all students in the district will be able to attend school, though classes may be at different schools and at different times than before the strike.
We're hopeful and encouraging all parents to send their children to school. There will be bus schedules, and there will be schedules, and schedules have been sent out to parents to let them know if they're either the AM schedule or the PM schedule.
Now, while parents were mailed a new strike schedule, you can get information available by calling 541-830-6697. Investigators are at work trying to get to the bottom of the death of 31-year-old Maria Victoria McDonald, who lived on Table Rock Road in Medford. An autopsy determined she died of asphyxiation, but the manner of death is not known. Neighbors report a stranger coming to McDonald's home at around 3 a.m. on Saturday and reported hearing yelling days earlier. The Jackson County Clerk's Office expecting an avalanche of ballots for the Oregon primary between now and 8 p.m. tomorrow night, which is the deadline. While it's not unexpected, County Clerk Chris Walker says that it does create challenges in terms of counting votes in a timely manner.
We tend to get about 40% of our ballots the last weekend and those last couple days of the election. Of course, that puts us in a big rush. We want to get out election results, and we do get pressures to make sure we get those out on time.
A turnout of 60 to 65% is typical for a presidential primary election. Former Josephine County Commissioner Dave Toller is donating the remaining funds from his last run for county office to the county library system. He was defeated by Simon Hare in the 2010 general election. He had $959 left over in his campaign coffers and rounded the donation off to $1,000 by kicking in another $14. Toller encouraging others to do the same. Well, here's a question. When is a painting art and not graffiti? It's a question the city of Medford might have to decide. 2 weeks ago, a Medford pipe shop called 42 Degrees painted the front of their store from white to what might be described as psychedelic art. Since then, the city has received complaints that the mural art violates city code and should be taken down. Store co-owner David Parnell says he was told they might be violating a sign code, but there are no words in the painting that might constitute the strict definition of a sign.
The neighborhood people around here say they don't like it, but I think it's discrimination against our business, and certain people don't support counterculture types, and for some reason they don't like it.
Parnell says he's been told the complaints will be turned over to the city attorney to make a decision on what to do next to determine if what is painted is a mural or actually a sign. Well, we're continuing our series of You're Never Too Old. And I do this with a little fear and trembling because I don't want to make you feel old, but some people might say that you, at a certain age, might be too old to do something anyway.
No.
So this
Like what?
No.
Well, let me tell you about Dinah Hanna.
Mm-hmm.
She and 3 other Colorado women make up the team Blood, Sweat, and Gears.
Blood, Sweat,
I
and
kind of like
Gears.
that. That's pretty good.
They're motorcycle riders.
No, bicyclists.
Bicyclists.
They're biking coast to coast next month.
Ooh.
It's all a part of the annual race across America, and she is 50. Okay? So she's not like a 20-year-old kid or somebody in college who's been doing this for a while. It's a relay, so each rider covers kind of a quarter of the distance. All right?
Okay.
It's still about 800 miles. I mean, that's still a long way to go.
Yeah.
Hannah says that she was never athletic as a kid, and she says she didn't get serious until she was in her 40s, so she hasn't been doing this very long.
Wow.
She says she wants to send a message to older women, her words, not mine,
Okay.
that they can become athletes too. So Dinah, Hannah, and her Blood, Sweat, and Gears team, good job and good luck.
Older women make better cyclists?
We'll have to see if they make it.
Wow.
800 miles
Here's the
per
quote
person.
of the day. Older women make better cyclists.
Not in my story was that
Okay,
found.
we'll just go with that one. All right, good morning to you. 6:35 here at the Dove this morning. Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. Well, over the weekend, some commencements took place, and Governor Romney was the commencement speaker at Liberty University, and the First Lady was the commencement speaker at North Carolina A&T State University.
Now, Liberty, that's the old Jerry Falwell
Jerry
University.
Falwell.
Oh, interesting.
He gets up and talks about, he says this, he called on graduates to let the message of Jesus Christ be their guide, and also as he reaffirms the traditional definition of marriage between one man and one woman. And he got a standing O.
Wow.
So anyway, so he took on the president head on with that one there at Liberty. And he went on to talk about traditional values, believing in your family, and thanks to those who helped you get a good education at Liberty University, because Liberty is a school with conviction and confidence, and use that as your armor for the future. On the other hand, the First Lady, in her commencement speech, talks about, what do you think she talked about?
Eating healthy and living a healthy life.
You are kind of close. She did talk about 4 people who sat at a counter demanding food in Woolworth's lunch counter years ago. That was one of the major events in the civil rights movement.
Where was she speaking?
She was speaking at North Carolina A&T State University. Anyway, so her whole speech was about civil rights. So we had the First Lady talking about civil rights, and we had Mitt Romney talking about traditional values, and in particular, marriage being defined between one man and one woman. So, pretty interesting, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Good morning to you. 6:37 here at the Dove, 23 before the hour. And Paulina, you have some events?
Yes, well, the lead singer of Cutlass is in the area tonight. He's doing a fundraiser concert for Dominic Roby. Remember,
Right.
we had his dad on the phone last week. Dominic was born a little over a year ago. Very bad prognosis, brain damage, and doctors said that he'll be immobile. Well, now he does move, of course. He responds to light. He hears with hearing aids. There are lots of medical expenses because he has to go through a certain program to live with the conditions he have. So there will be a fundraising concert tonight at the Table Rock Fellowship at 7 o'clock, and doors open at 6:30. And if you need more information, you can go to our website and check it out. We have all the details there.
Okay.
So, but it's an amazing story, and how prayer really saved the life of this little boy. And
it is quite a story, and let me encourage you to go out if you can and be a part of this special fundraising concert. Through this, Dominic will be able to get some further therapy that will help him in his development. So we certainly encourage you to be a part of that. All right, good morning to you. 6:38, 22 before the hour, 60 degrees outside the studios. Well, Congress is considering a bill to adding the FDR prayer to the World War II memorial. Remember the D-Day prayer that FDR prayed over the radio?
Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember that.
I wonder if we could maybe find that again and play it for you. It is very moving. And
I can read you part of it.
Do you have? All right.
Well, it's right here. He says, "With thy blessing, we shall prevail over the unholy forces of our enemy. Help us to conquer the apostles of greed and racial arrogance. Lead us to the saving of our country and with our sister nations into a world unity that will spell a sure peace." And he read it on June 6, 1944, as the, I think it was the Normandy invasion.
D-Day. The Normandy invasion.
Yeah.
And he knew that he was sending men into a situation that a good portion of them would lose their lives. He knew that. But he also knew the price and the cost of liberty and freedom. So there is a bill now to add this prayer to the World War II memorial there on the Washington Mall. What do you think? You think it'll pass?
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Technically, does it have to go through both houses of Congress or just one? How does that work with this?
I don't know that one. The House version of the bill, sponsored by Ohio Congressman Bill Johnson, passed already, so I guess it has to go to the Senate. 386 to 26.
Oh, wow. In the Senate?
No, that was in the House.
Ah, okay. So it's probably going to be tougher.
It has to go to the Senate, so we'll see what happens. All right. Boy,
I think they can probably pull the argument by using, historical value of this prayer. It's not about religion only. It was heard all over the world, the president praying for the troops, and then, of course, the result of World War II. How can you dismiss it?
Well, that is the question. How could you? And could we? I think we could. I think the atmosphere in the Senate right now, they could blow this off.
They could, yeah. Yeah.
And we'll have to wait and see how that comes about. All right, good morning to you. Quick look at the temperatures around the region this morning. Quite interesting as we are looking at some mild temperatures and very warm days and the possibility of afternoon thunderstorms. The Klamath Falls already coming in at 54 this morning, 50 down in Siskiyou County and Wairika. As we jump up to Douglas County, 55 in the Roseburg area. Coastline very mild, 52 for Coos Bay, Port Orford, and Gold Beach and Brookings coming in about 50 this morning. And right here in our own backyard, we've been somewhere between 58 and 61. Right now we are 59 degrees with some clouds and sunshine mix, but mostly sunshine weather. And again, the possibility of some afternoon thunder buildups around the mountains here in the Medford-Grants Pass area and also in the Klamath Falls area and the Northern California area. So be careful this afternoon. In the meantime, more news. Steve, what do you have for us?
Well, there's a concern about genetically altered food and whether it should even be planted here in Southern Oregon. We'll tell you about that coming up.
All right. We'll have this story and all the news, sports, and weather coming up next here on The Morning Show.
Oh, wow! Letters stand for Oregon Women of the Word. It is a biblical conference that we give once a year, and you need to bring your Bible because you will open it.
Denominational barriers are dropped.
It's close.
I've made many friends.
It's affordable.
I enjoyed Kari a lot. I got a lot out of her teaching.
For seminar details, go to OregonWomenOfTheWord.org.
Tired of twisting and turning that stubborn old garden hose onto a spigot? Sick of getting soaked when it won't fit right? Now just snap on and off with Snap 2.0. It lets you snap all your hose supplies in 1 second flat. Just attach the connectors to any fixture, then snap off a sprinkler and snap on a garden feeder. Fast and easy. Snap 2.0's universal connector fits thousands of different watering fixtures, and its interlocking technology clamps both sides together to create a watertight seal. Even over this expensive computer, not a single drop. When you order, we'll send you not one, but 2 sets for just $10. Plus this adjustable pressure nozzle to power blast grime, free. But call now and we'll double the entire offer free. Just pay separate processing and handling. That's 4 Snap 2.0 sets and 2 pressure nozzles, all for just $10.
To order Snap 2.0 for $10 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-2074 or order online at snap20.com.
This thing of emotions is a big deal because the truth is we control them or they control us. Our emotions are a gift from God and they carry a lot of influence in our life. I pray to God that you will deal with this. And remember, it is a faith battle. That's really what it boils down to.
In Touch, Sundays at 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. It's 16 minutes before 7 o'clock on Mornings on the Dove. I'm Steve Johnson, where you can see Mornings on the Dove on Charter Channel 18, hear it on the radio, as well as check it out at thedove.us. In our news today, a group of local farmers and food activists want Jackson County to pass an ordinance banning the planting of genetically modified plants in the southwestern Oregon County. Commissioners say they're looking into the issue, including whether they could legally pass such a county law. Members of the group GMO-Free Jackson County asked commissioners last week to ban plants with genetic alterations without a citizen's initiative. The second week of the Eagle Point strike begins this week with students heading back to classes. Today, students returning to classrooms despite protesting teachers and staff. Many will be taught by substitutes and teachers who've crossed the picket lines. Mike Remick, representing the district administration, says they've mailed a schedule of where and when classes will take place throughout the district for parents to send their children.
We'll have White City Elementary will be open on Monday, and they'll have a number of schools that will be feeding into that, and then the high school will be open, and the middle schools will be feeding into the high school, and so they'll have high school and middle schools at different times of the day. So it won't be all the same population, be different groups that will be in there, and then Shady Cove will be open, and they will have Elk Trail students that will be there as well.
Now, if that sounds a little complicated and you need more information, you could call the school this morning. The number is 541-830-6697. Negotiators on the teachers' union side and those representing the administration start talks again tomorrow. Well, just days into Oregon's first season of mandatory boat inspections, Department of Fish and Wildlife officials have already discovered 2 watercraft carrying invasive mussels. Last year, when the program was voluntary, inspectors found 6 boats, all seasoned with quagga or zebra mussels. The mussels have already invaded the Great Lakes and other American waterways, causing millions of dollars in damage. The Oregon Supreme Court ruling that people suspected of drunk driving are not off the hook just because their blood alcohol content is measured below the legal limit. The court decided to allow expert witness testimony, concluding that a driver's alcohol level was above the legal limit at the time he was stopped, even if it had fallen below 0.08 before it was measured. Well, the city of Medford may have to decide if a painting in a local pipe shop is a mural or graffiti. During business hours, you can't see much of the painting that's on the front of the 42 Degrees store in central Medford. But when the store closes and the security shades come down, there is more to see. That's what has apparently caused some residents to complain to the city about the 2-week-old painting. They say it violates the sign code, but co-owner David Parnell says it doesn't meet the strict definition of a sign.
There's no words, there's nothing to advertise our business. All it is just paint on our building, just like any other place that chooses to paint. But for some reason, the neighbors don't like us, and they feel that it represents what we sell in the store and feel that we're bringing down the neighborhood, as they say it.
Now it looks as if the city attorney may get involved. Parnell says he's been told the next step is to decide on the category of the front of the business and whether or not it is a sign or a mural. Well, a groundbreaking ceremony taking place today at 11 a.m. for Ashland Fire Station 2. Last week, you might remember, demolition of a 4,000-square-foot station built decades ago made way for the 10,000-plus square-foot facility that will be built on the same site. The new structure has been designed to meet LEED Silver standards and include sustainable features such as water-permeable concrete and pavers, as well as solar heating. Well, whether you like the Beavers or maybe you prefer the Ducks, today's a good day to be a fan of either one of those 2 baseball teams, and Jim McCoy tells us why that is.
The Oregon Ducks clinched their series with USC yesterday by doubling up the Trojans 4-2. Pac-12 Player of the Week, Aaron Payne drove in a pair of runs, while pitcher Jake Reed allowed just 4 hits to run the Ducks' record to 37-14 overall and 18-8 in the conference. It was also a good day for the Beavers of Oregon State. Dan Childs struck out 11 Utes as the Beavers were 5-4 winners over Utah. OSU is 32-17 and 13-11 in the Pac-12. With sports, I'm Jim McCoy.
Well, thank you, Jim. Okay, you probably thought Star Trek, some of those things weren't going to happen. Yes. Star Wars the same way.
Yes.
Well, let's review this a little bit. Star Trek, the tricorder, a lot like a cell phone.
Yes.
And it works that way.
Yes.
Reality.
Reality.
You haven't been able to beam yourself from one place to the next, but now, how about this second thing that's closest to that kind of a thing? A holographic image of yourself, full size.
Jumping out on your phone?
No, right in front of you. That's the next thing for teleconferencing. So those long trips, Perry, that you might take to Singapore to meet with the UCB guys, you could just be standing in a room somewhere along with them, and you're all standing around, kind of like you see on Star Wars when they're at the Jedi Council meeting.
But I'd miss the sushi. See, I like the sushi in Singapore.
We'll get you some sushi.
We'll do the holographic image of sushi for you.
Well, this is a fascinating thing. They say this is the closest thing to teleportation you'll ever get, and it's called telehuman. All right? People can teleconference each other. It's a 3D image, so you can walk around the back side of the person.
I can imagine someone's calling for Perry. Can I talk to Perry? Oh, he's telehumaning with New Zealand right now.
That's right. Well, see, if you didn't like what they were saying, you turn your back to them.
I'm telehuman.
There you go.
A new term.
This is a fascinating thing. At Queen's University, this is in Canada, Dr. Roel Vertegal used mostly what he said was existing hardware, stuff that he could get off the shelf, including an array of Microsoft Kinect sensors, a 3D projector, and a translucent acrylic cylinder.
Wow.
Okay, now you see how you get that imaging that way? Mm-hmm. So now what they have is, the picture that they used was of a person looking at somebody else who is just a little bit translucent, but they're at the right height and everything. I mean, it looks like it's coming, and they say you need several 3D cameras, but once you got it installed, it's probably cheaper than an air flight.
Well, so does it come with wasabi?
I don't know. We'll try to get you some wasabi.
Instead of Skyping our guests,
yes,
we can teleport them.
Telehuman.
Telehuman.
That's what they're calling it, yeah.
All right, well, who knows? Everything else is becoming a reality. Maybe telehumaning is the next way of travel.
I think so.
Why do you have to go through a TSA inspection before you send it?
Send the pod through the canister, the cylinder.
Did you see that thing about Geraldo? Geraldo is claiming that he was manually raped at a TSA inspection.
Well, there's another subject for the morning show.
Well, there you go. I don't know. You kind of wonder, how does a leading personality get, have that happen to him?
I'm not sure.
Okay, either mine.
All depends on your definition is to some degree, I guess, too.
Okay.
Standing in line at the airport.
Standing in line at the airport, getting to know you. Good morning to you. 9 minutes now before 7 o'clock. Well, the president, as you know, last week came out full force, changed his mind, and now he is for same-sex marriages. Question, will it cost him votes? What do you think, Paulina?
Well, you said it will. So I trust your opinion on that.
Oh, well, there you go. Steve, you think it'll cost him?
Well, the people who were going to vote for him anyway would have done that because they probably didn't think that Romney was going to be on their side. So he would not have gained any votes that way. The only ones that he would have lost would be those on the fence. And you have mentioned how some of the pastors in some churches who might have been supporters of his now are saying, okay, hold on, now you've gone beyond the line. So there may be some. What that percentage is, I don't know. But I think it would be a loss. If it's significant, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think he's handing this to Romney in a big way. The country, in spite of what people are saying in the polls that you read, 30 states have amended their state constitution to say no to same-sex marriages and to define marriage in their state between one man and one woman. Well, the president, as I said earlier, when it first came out, I thought, well, he's going to raise a lot of money off of it, but in the end, it's going to cost him votes. So he's going to get money but no votes. And that's kind of what's happening. 26% say support of gay marriages will make them less likely to vote for him, as compared to 13% who say it will make them most likely. So that is a net loss of 13% in election going into this cycle, which all appearances is it could be very close. So he is losing support with his stance for same-sex marriages. Over the weekend, he did speak in an all-black church, and the pastor got up and scolded him for his stance and say, we do not stand with the president on this issue. And there were amens from the congregation. But we will pray for the president. And there were amens from the congregation. So it looks like he is not only losing the independent on this, he's losing some black vote on this. And, of course, I think he'll lose just a lot of votes in general on this. The most stunning thing I've ever seen, I don't think we have a picture of this. I think maybe I can hold it up to the camera there. You can see it. Coming up on Newsweek magazine this week, it shows the president with a rainbow halo over his head with the caption, "The First Gay President." Are we ready for this? Are we ready for this as a nation?
I think what it's showing is how, Time magazine had the picture of that pregnant woman with a 4-year-old on the cover last week.
Yeah.
I think it's showing now how some of the older media are getting pretty desperate just to increase their sales. This article, though, with the gay ring above his head about the first gay president was written apparently by a freelance reporter who they hired, who is an avowed gay journalist. So they're clearly doing it for the shock value. But I think a lot of people, I don't know if they're going to get more sales. If anything, some people may be turned off by this.
Oh, I'm tremendously turned off.
I'd be interested to hear the president's concept because, he's married in a heterosexual relationship, and I would like to know what he thinks being labeled the first gay president.
The first gay president. I mean, is he going to refute this?
Yeah, we'll have to see.
I mean, this is unbelievable.
I think he'll just be silent about it all, but I can't imagine that he's too pleased with this because this is something that's going to go down in history. I mean, covers of Newsweek magazine, and there it'll always pop up.
They found their place in history, no question about it. All right, we'll keep you updated on some of these crazy things that are happening during this election cycle. Good morning. 6 minutes now before 7 o'clock, 60 degrees outside with some sunshine. And movie reviews on the Dove TV, Steve.
Yeah, well, if you've ever seen Reel, it's not R-E-A-L, but R-E-E-L, like a movie reel. The next installment is going to be 8:30 tonight, and there are several movies that they're going to be showing. Two of them I haven't seen. They're going to be taking a look, going way back into the archives to look at Top Gun, and it's got to be something relevant about that. What was that, about 1982 or something like that? And then two other movies, Midnight Clear and Broken Flowers, which I can't tell you I know much about it, but if you haven't seen Reel, here's a little bit of a preview about what this show is all about.
I'm Oda Mae Brown. He wrote about me.
Oh, I'm Jesus.
Consider how the films you watch can nudge you towards your destiny. Mainstream, faith-based, and old favorites.
I will leave no one.
This program is all about the world of popular entertainment.
Consider the big picture. Reel, 8:30 tonight on the Dove TV.
There you go. That's kind of a general overview of it all. And I'll be interested to see a couple of these movies that I don't know about. Broken Flowers, Midnight Clear, and Top Gun. Those three will be discussed, and there's got to be some sort of a connection with all of them. So to find out about it, 8:30 tonight on the Dove TV, Channel 18.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Good morning. It's about 4 minutes away from the top of the hour. What animal best describes you and why? That's our Facebook question today. And Paulina, are we getting any response?
Yes, we are. Tony says, a polar bear. I sleep deep when it's cold outside, and I wake up hungry.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
And Lori says a cat, because I'm always ready for a nap.
That's good.
Yeah, where I am. Jason Aaron, a platypus, because I like both the ducks and beavers.
Oh, so this is kind of a platypus is halfway between the two.
It is.
I like it.
It is really cute, though.
Yeah.
We ought to have a junior college right between those two schools.
Yeah.
And call them the platypus, right? Well, there you go. Well, let us know. What animal best describes you?
I've come up with what mine is, and thanks to Tony and the others. Lori, yes.
What is it?
An aardvark. They have a long nose. They go for ants, because I'm always sniffing around for something to eat.
I thought you were going to say sniffing around for news stories.
That too. But you got to get your priorities straight. Eat, then news stories.
Oh, there we go. Okay, well, aardvark. Steve the aardvark.
I was thinking of Sid the sloth, but I thought that doesn't work too well. Remember from Ice Age?
All right, good morning to you. Let's take a look at the three-day forecast for the area. Medford, Ashland, Grants Pass, and vicinity. A little warm today, up around 84 with some afternoon thunder bumpers developing up around the hills, so be careful. 86 tomorrow, 84 on Wednesday with lots of sunshine through the week. Over in the basin, you can also expect maybe some afternoon thunder buildups around the mountains. 84 for high today, in the low 80s for the rest of the week with sunshine. The coastline, well, you could see some showers today with the highs only about 60. A little warmer Tuesday and Wednesday with some sun breaks at about 61 to 62. And Northern California, well, pretty nice. And down in Northern California, Wairika, Siskiyou, Mount Shasta area. 87 for high today, which means they could see some thunderstorm activity in the afternoon. Highs tomorrow 90 and then 87 on Wednesday, so warm weather. Currently outside the studios, about 60 degrees with some sunshine and clouds. Beautiful morning in the neighborhood, so Be careful out there this afternoon if you get in and around some of that thunder activity. In the meantime, more news in 2 minutes. And Steve, our big story is?
Well, it looks like it was a good idea to help people in foreclosure, but it looks as if some people got paid who shouldn't have gotten paid. We'll tell you about that. Also, how you could possibly own one of Michael Jackson's gloves coming
really?
up. Mm-hmm.
All right. And what animal best describes you and why? Let us know at the Dove Radio Facebook page. All this and more coming up in about 2 minutes here on The Morning Show.
So here we go again. Oh yeah. Hanging out with all the friends. Let's do this. Living for the weekend. Wishing that I never dance.
Coming May 18th to the NAS, A Taste of Summer Music Fest 2012. An event that will take you on a journey from a relaxing beach to the most extreme sounds of summer. Here, take a listen.
Sundown. Everything's gonna be alright, yeah. As we're dancing in the sunlight. Yesterday, today, forever. All may change, but you will never.
See, there's something for everyone. And if that's not enough excitement, we will be giving away a free iPad and apparel package to one lucky ticket holder. Tickets available at all Evangel store locations at the NAS and online at 4dtix.com. Proceeds from this event will benefit Impact Athletics of Southern Oregon. Diadem and Pure Vintage Apparel will be on hand to outfit you in the latest gear. Once again, May 18th at the NAS. One night, 4 bands, music for all ages. Doors open at 6, entertainment starts at 6:30. Bring your friends and we'll see you there.
So shine on down.
This thing of emotions is a big deal because the truth is we control them or they control us. Our emotions are a gift from God and they carry a lot of influence in our life. I pray to God that you will deal with this. And remember, it is a faith battle. That's really what it boils down to.
In Touch, Sundays at 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. You're watching the Dove TV, proud to be NRB's 2012 Low Power Television Station of the Year.
It's Mornings on the Dove at 1 minute after 7 o'clock. I'm Steve Johnson, and here's what's making news today. A state program to help prevent foreclosures has struggled to efficiently distribute more than $220 million in federal taxpayer money to Oregon homeowners. Now, the program awarded $1.7 million to 242 homeowners who were later determined to be ineligible for the program. It paid $750,000 to a private company to help homeowners refinance, but after more than a year, only 11 mortgages have been refinanced. Lawyers for John Edwards began presenting their case today in the trial against the 2008 Democratic presidential candidate. He's accused of using money from wealthy donors to hide his pregnant mistress during the campaign. Edwards denies the allegations. A biting new TV ad by the Obama campaign casts Mitt Romney as a job-killing corporate titan with little concern for the working class. It'll run in 5 battleground states, including Iowa, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Romney has accused President Obama of attacking free enterprise, and both candidates entering a new week in the campaign, looking to shift the focus back to the economy. Well, it's back to school for students in the Eagle Point School District. The 4,100 students in the 11 schools will be seeing some familiar faces of teachers who've crossed the picket lines, as well as those of fill-in substitutes. Now the strike continues into its second week, though negotiators won't be back at the table until tomorrow. The district's Mike Remick says all students will be in the district and able to attend school through classes, but they may be at different schools and at different times than before the strike.
We're, hopeful and encouraging all parents to send their children to school. There will be bus schedules, and there will be schedules, and schedules have been sent out to parents to let them know if they're either the AM schedule or the PM schedule.
Now, while parents were mailed a new strike schedule, more information is available. You can call this number 541-830-6697. Well, Oregon's expected drop in fuel tax revenue sending officials into a new direction for assessing road user tax. The proposal of measuring mileage and giving drivers a choice in how it's done is once again being floated. A task force working on the issue in the Oregon Department of Transportation in 2006, that is, looked at the GPS-based system that could track the miles a vehicle was driven. The idea drew opposition, though, because drivers feared it could be used for surveillance. Tomorrow is the Oregon primary election. Ballots are cast by mail, and if you haven't mailed yours in, you can make sure that you take advantage of the drop boxes around the county.
Those are at the Eagle Point Branch Library. We have a 24-hour drop site there that sits right out in front of their main door. Central Point Library, same thing. Ashland Public Library around the back side of the building on the main entrance. Of course, the Jackson County Elections Office right at the front of the building. We have a drive-up that you can drive your ballot right up there and drop it off, or you can bring it inside if you're more comfortable doing that.
That is Jackson County Clerk Chris Walker. And there's also another drop site available. It's at the Central Point City Hall. Ballots due tomorrow by 8 p.m. Well, we've been talking about how so many things are being sold at high values on different auctions. And now, guess what? I have no idea how you even figure out how much this might be worth. But first of all, they're going on tour. We're talking Michael Jackson stuff, and there's been a lot of stuff, and now some of the more popular and famous stuff going out.
The glove.
The glittery gloves, the spangled jackets, the costumes he wore on stage.
Really?
All going up on a world tour first, and then they're going up for auction.
Really? Is that family that hard up for money?
He had, I think I had heard the number, it was hundreds of millions of dollars in debt. So now, it's not that he's not making, his estate isn't making that back, because through Sony, a lot of that money is coming back in because people are still buying albums and stuff. So it is coming back. And in fact, of dead entertainers, he's one of the highest revenue at this point. Anyway, Darian Julien says that clothing created by his longtime costume designers will be exhibited in South America, Europe, and Asia. This is really a world tour. And then in December, it's going to be held for an auction. And let's see, the Captain EO shirt, if you ever were at Disneyland, you saw that 3D thing, the shirt that he wore there. The black spandex outfit in the Scream video, the breakaway suit he wore during the Bad Tour, all of that stuff is going to be there. And it'll be sold at the Julien's auction on December 2nd. And a portion of the proceeds, don't know what that is, it'll go to help Guide Dogs of America and a hospice in Las Vegas. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they can put a figure on what they're expecting on some of this stuff, how much that could generate.
Do you have any idea what the glove will go for?
That's what I don't know. How do you figure something like that out? That is probably the most iconic image that you think of with Michael Jackson.
Did we ever figure out why he only wore one glittery glove?
Because the other one,
he lost it,
was soiled in backstage by somebody spilling coffee on it. I don't know. I have no idea.
All right.
I guess one makes the statement, two would be overkill.
There we go. All right. Well, you heard it here on the Dove. Good morning to you. 6 minutes now past 7 o'clock on your Monday morning. 59 degrees outside. I'm Perry along with Paulina and Steve.
Morning.
And we have a lot going on for you today. Colleen Roberts is going to be in the studio with us. She's one of the candidates for Jackson County Commissioner coming up at 8 o'clock. I'll be talking to Stuart Whitmore about suicide prevention. And Greg Matt, who is I Am Changes Who I Am. Okay, we'll figure that out coming up at 8 o'clock. In the meantime, I want to tell you about your ballots. Don't mail them today. Drive them to a drop-off box, because that means the possibility they wouldn't get there in time for tomorrow. So I would drive your ballots to a drop-off box. And one other little bit of information, this is just me personally. Do not hand it to anybody standing alongside the box. Put it in the box yourself, okay? And get those ballots out today and, of course, the latest tomorrow. And we'll be having election results Wednesday morning and keep you posted on all things that are going on there. In the meantime, the weather. It's pretty nice, and it's warming up. We're going to see 84 for a high today, 86, 84 for the rest of the week for the Medford, Ashland, Grants Pass, and vicinity. And beware, with the hot temperatures comes the possibility of some afternoon thunderstorms. Could be the case this afternoon here in the Medford, Grants Pass area. In the meantime, Klamath Falls coming in at 84 and staying in the low 80s through the rest of the week with sunshine. But again, could see some thunder buildups over there this afternoon. Be careful. Northern California, the coastline. Could see some showers this morning, and then sun breaks with sunshine and clouds mixed for Tuesday and Wednesday. High today forecasted to be about 60, a little warmer for the next couple of days. Northern California, Mount Shasta, Wairika, Siskiyou County, 87 forecasted for high today. A little warmer tomorrow, 90, and then back to 87 for the rest of the week. Looks like we could have some thunder showers developing there this afternoon as well. So this warm temperature comes the thunderstorm. So be careful. Hopefully we don't get any lightning strikes and no fires. Right now, 59 degrees outside the studios of the Dove this morning. Well, as you know, let's see here. The commencement exercises are taking place at colleges all over the place, and Liberty University is not kind of, you know what's interesting about Liberty University, and that's the college that the late Jerry Falwell founded. It's becoming one of the spots for candidates to speak at.
It seems to be that way, yeah.
Whether you're there for a commencement exercise or just generally speaking to the student body, it becomes quite the place to go and make conservative statements or any kind of a statement. Well, Mitt Romney was there over the weekend. He was the commencement speaker, and he forcefully came out and said that he called on the graduates to be led by the message of Jesus Christ, to be their guide, and he also reaffirmed that the traditional definition of marriage to be between a man and a woman, and that was clearly a contrast from what the president said last week. He went on to talk about being family and honoring your family and your parents and the school, and that Liberty University now prepares you with conviction and confidence to go out and let them be your guide, and your armor. So pretty interesting there. In the meantime, the First Lady is over at the North Carolina A&T State University. She was the commencement speaker there, and her speech was about the legacy of civil rights. And in particular, as you know, there at the Woolworth's lunch counter years ago, there were several people that stayed there at the counter and demanded to be served, which was somewhat the beginning, one of the highlights during the civil rights movements in the 60s. So anyway, different speeches and different locations by what?
What do you expect her to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, isn't all first ladies take on an issue, right? I mean, they all have an issue. What was Laura Bush's? You remember?
Education.
Education. And what was Hillary Clinton's?
I want to get elected.
Okay. And what is Michelle Obama's?
I thought it was health.
That's what I thought.
She was against obesity,
eating.
Right?
Yeah.
Until she found out that her husband's hanging out at these fast food joints.
Clearly not obese, though.
Yeah, he's not obese.
It's not doing him harm.
So anyway, what's left for her? Civil rights, I guess. So that was her topic. So anyway, that's where we are with all of that.
It would be cool to, I think one day I'll use that as my Facebook question and ask, if you were given a commencement speech, what would be your main message?
Or 3 points. You know, they say a good speech has 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That's a good one to throw out right now so that people can start thinking about that.
You have to have a dynamic opening. You have to have 3 points. And you have to have a convicting close.
And normally the dynamic opening is tell them what they are going to hear, tell them what they hear, and then the last one is tell them what you just told them. So it's
tell them what they heard. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, well, anyway, that's what I learned in Bible school. Hey, Polina, your Facebook question.
What animal describes you the most? And I got several questions. Brian says tiger. Not a baby tiger, a real tiger, because they have huge paws, and the rest is hard to explain.
So Brian has big hands, I guess, huh?
Or paws.
He's real hungry.
And Anna says she would have to say squirrel, just because she likes them, and she likes climbing trees. And Steve, there is a special request for you. Ask Steve to do his Sid the Sloth, Lord of the Ring
if you've
impression.
seen Ice Age 1, 2, and 3, you see Sid the Sloth. Dignity has nothing to do with it. You're with us now.
I don't know what it was, but it was really cool.
As he's walking away. Oh, look, a cow.
Oh.
Sid the Sloth.
Oh, a cow.
That's it.
All right. Right here on the morning show. Good morning. All right, 12 minutes now past the hour. You know, I'm leaning towards, I know this sounds a little self-serving, but I love to fly, right?
Mm-hmm. So you're a squirrel.
No.
A flying squirrel.
No.
Mosquito.
No. Come on.
Crow.
No. You're getting close, but not a crow.
Catapulted rat.
Owl.
No.
A buzzard.
dove.
Oh.
A dove.
I thought it was like an eagle because they say you can't soar with the eagles if you hoot with the owls at night.
Yeah.
See, I thought that's what that would be.
No, I mean a dove is peaceful and they fly around. And,
I think you're a little
and they
more...
coo.
They're looking for sloths on the ground.
I think you're a little more masculine than the dove.
All right, an eagle.
Manly. Yeah.
All right, I'll
eagle.
go for an eagle. Eagle. Sloth. And then dive down and get the fish.
Eagle doesn't say that.
They don't?
Well,
I don't think they say anything. They just look aloof. I think of the eagle on the Muppets. He always talked like this and looked distant.
Oh, yes.
Perry's an engaging
Okay.
Why do I think of cartoon characters when you start bringing up animals?
I know where you spent your childhood.
Yes.
Good morning to you. 14 past the hour. Quick look at the temps around the region. The neighborhood this morning, quite mild at 54. And Klamath Falls, woohoo, warming up over there. 54 down in Wairika. Coastline still hanging in there, 50s to low 50s, all the way up from Brookings to Coos Bay. And Roseburg starting to warm up now, turning around, heading on up, 55, Roseburg, Myrtle Creek, and Canyonville. And we're a little warmer here, anywhere from 59 to 61 for Grants Pass and Medford with lots of sunshine. So it's going to be a nice day. We could have those afternoon thunderstorms, so be careful, okay? In the meantime, more news coming up in a few moments. So, Steve, what do you have for us?
Yeah, well, out in Eagle Point, the kids had the week off. It's back to school now, even with the strike going on. We'll give you an update on that coming up.
All right, and don't forget, tomorrow's Election Day, and if you haven't mailed in your ballot, don't mail it in. Drop it off at a drop-off point. And don't hand it to somebody alongside. Put it in the box yourself, okay? All this and more coming up in 2 minutes here on The Morning Show.
When I talk with other moms, we are concerned about the crime that we see in the headlines. Something different needs to be done.
We've got to find someone with a leadership ability, and I believe it's Rob Patridge for District Attorney, so we can feel safe again.
For the greenest of lawns and amazing gardens.
The Grange knows.
For happy pets, backyard birds, and that perfect gift.
The Grange knows.
For the ranch and the farm. Or a great pair of jeans.
The Grange knows.
For helpful advice, come to the experts that know, or find Floyd online anytime. Grange Co-op.
Let's grow.
I'm a watercolor artist, and I have to take my paintings to galleries everywhere, including the Road Gallery and Art Center. So of course, I love my Subaru. I just lay down the back seat and these babies slide right in. I used to drive a Toyota, but my Subaru has more room, is quiet, and gets better highway mileage. I'm Barbara, and that's what makes a Subaru my Subaru.
Southern Oregon Subaru on Biddle Road, Medford.
I love my Subaru.
We need a DA that can make criminals think twice before they act. Rob Patridge is a former deputy district attorney. He has the experience and the leadership that Jackson County needs. I think he is the man that can bring change to the district attorney's office.
Rob Patridge for District Attorney. I'm Oda Mae Brown. He wrote about me.
Oh, I'm Jesus.
Consider how the films you watch can nudge you towards your destiny. Mainstream, faith-based, and old favorites.
I will leave no one.
This program is all about the world of popular entertainment.
Consider the big picture. Real. 8:30 tonight on the Dove TV.
It's 17 minutes now after 7 o'clock on Mornings on the Dove. I'm Steve Johnson, and here's what's making news today. Back to school for students in the Eagle Point School District. The 4,100 students in the 11 schools will be seeing some familiar faces of teachers who've crossed picket lines, as well as those of fill-in substitutes. Now, the strike continues into its second week, though negotiators won't be back at the table until tomorrow. The district's Mike Remick says all students in the district will be able to attend school, though classes may be at different schools and at different times than before the strike.
We're hopeful and encouraging all parents to send their children to school. There will be bus schedules, and there will be schedules, and schedules have been sent out to parents to let them know if they're either the AM schedule or the PM schedule.
While parents were mailed a new strike schedule, more information is available by calling this number 541-830-6697. Investigators are at work trying to get to the bottom of the death of a 31-year-old, Maria Victoria McDonald, who lived on Table Rock Road in Medford. An autopsy determined she died of asphyxiation, but the manner of death is not known. Neighbors report a stranger coming to McDonald's home at around 3 a.m. on Saturday and reported hearing yelling days earlier. The Jackson County Clerk's Office expecting an avalanche of ballots for the Oregon primary between now and 8 p.m. tomorrow night, which is the deadline. And while it's not unexpected, County Clerk Chris Walker says it does create challenges in terms of counting votes in a timely manner.
We tend to get about 40% of our ballots the last weekend and those last couple days of the election. Of course, that puts us in a big rush. We want to get out election results, and we do get pressures to make sure we get those out on time.
A turnout of 60 to 65% is typical for a presidential primary election. Former Josephine County Commissioner Dave Toller is donating the remaining funds from his last run for office to the county's library system. Toller was defeated by Simon Hare in the 2010 general election, and he had $959 left in his campaign coffers. He rounded the donation off to $1,000 by kicking in the extra bucks, Toller encouraging others to do the same thing. So, when is a painting art and not graffiti? Well, it's a question the city of Medford may have to decide. 2 weeks ago, a Medford pipe shop called 42 Degrees painted the front of their store from white to what might be described as psychedelic art. Well, since then, the city has received complaints that the mural art violates city code and should be taken down. Well, store co-owner David Parnell says he was also told they might be violating a sign code, but there are no words in the painting that might constitute the strict definition of a sign.
The neighborhood, people around here say they don't like it, but I think it's discrimination against our business, and certain people don't support counterculture types, and for some reason they don't like it.
Parnell says that he's been told the complaints will be turned over to the city attorney to make a decision on what to do next to determine if what is painted is a mural or if it's a sign. Well, San Francisco 49ers rookie from the University of Oregon is demonstrating that while his stature is small, he's got a pretty big heart. With more on that, here's Jim McCoy at the Sports Desk.
San Francisco 49ers coach Jim Harbaugh is liking the idea of LaMichael James playing for him instead of against him back in the days when James was rolling up records for the Oregon Ducks against the team that Harbaugh used to coach, the Stanford Cardinal. Harbaugh says the small speedster has a great look in his eye, and running back coach Gary Campbell says you can't measure the size of his heart or the drive inside him. James looked at ease fielding kickoffs, catching passes, and running out of the backfield in the 49ers rookie minicamp last week. With sports, I'm Jim McCoy.
Well, thank you, Jim. Okay, our Facebook question has to do with the kind of animal that you think you are and why that is. This might help you decide if you have yet to figure that out.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Sergeant Rex being honored by the New York Yankees.
The dog?
Yes, and so is his human best buddy, Marine Corporal Megan Levy. Now get this. Both of them worked on more than 100 missions searching for roadside bombs in Iraq.
Whoa.
Talk about a tough job, that's for sure. And they were wounded together in the line of duty. Yesterday, Levy and Rex honored at Yankee Stadium before the game with the Seattle Mariners.
No kidding.
And even though, they're not in a war zone at this point, apparently Rex still protective of Levy. Alex Rodriguez jumped back when Rex leapt in front of Levy. He was trying to give her a heart-shaped charm from Tiffany that had the name Rex written on it. Oh. And he didn't like that. He kind of thought, why are you doing this? So he's still like possessive of Megan. So, wow, when you think of that, those two, talk about the bonds between humans and animals. That one certainly is one. They've injured together while completing more than 100 missions.
You hear this quite often in the canine divisions of some law enforcement where the officer and the dog really, they're just like husband and wife. They're almost inseparable.
They're a bond, yeah. Well, they're both focused on the same mission, yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, Rex and what was his name?
Her name is Megan Levy.
Okay.
Megan Levy. I was going to say Megan Kelly. That's a whole other network.
Oh, it's a whole other network. All right, 22 minutes now past the hour. Good morning. And Paulina, our Facebook question of the day is?
What is the animal that best describes you? And let us know why that is. We've had several answers so far: tigers, squirrels, platypus, a cat. So tell us what you think is.
All right, I was.
Your animal.
You know, I said I like flying, so it'd be a dove. So then you guys didn't know, or you did. So I'm a bald eagle.
Mm-hmm. Not so bold
yet. A bald
yet.
eagle.
But I'm not bald yet.
Yes.
Moving in that direction.
But you got eagle eyes.
Yeah, you got something to look forward to.
Yeah, and they're very stately. You know, they kind of fly.
You like to target small prey.
Yes.
With your message.
But speaking of bald eagles.
Yes.
Let's go to Kurt Bennett with the Bennett Group over at D.A. Davison Company this morning, and let's see what's happening on Wall Street. Good morning, Kurt.
Very funny, very funny.
How you doing? Well, there it is, right there. Right
good,
there.
Good. Anyway, the market's not doing so well this morning.
Oh, no.
They're losing a little hair as well out there this morning. The Dow, mostly driven by that J.P. Morgan news of losing a couple of $1 billion on their own trades. And kind of the reporting back of that. The Dow off 144 points as we speak at 12,675. Companies like IBM, United Technology, and 3M moving the Dow downward. A few moments ago when I checked it, I think all Dow 30 stocks were trading off. There's about 8 issues declining for every one advancing on the New York Exchange. So it's pretty much red across the board. The NASDAQ's off 30 points at 2,903. Those 10-year Treasury notes yielding a 1.78%. So kind of going back to those lows that we saw on yields last September as money's moved out of the markets and into the bonds, driving those prices up and the yields down. Some of the most actively traded stocks in the first hour this morning: Bank of America, J.P. Morgan, Nokia, Citibank, and Chesapeake Energy on the New York Exchange. All of those trading down except for Chesapeake Energy. A little different over on the NASDAQ. Sirius, Cisco, Yahoo, Arena Pharmaceuticals, and Intel the most actively traded. Intel and Siri trading down, but the others trading up. Gold's at $1,559 an ounce. That's down another $24 an ounce. Silver's at $28.40 an ounce. And oil's trading about $94.50 a barrel. No major economic news out today. 55 different companies will report their first quarter earnings, but that will start winding down here. So that's a snapshot in the first hour.
So is gold going to continue to slide, in your opinion?
Well, I think so. If you looked at the charts, it had gone up extremely fast, a lot faster than inflation. If the dollar strengthens, the euro, one of the big buyers out there were some of the central banks and things like that. When you lose some of those big buyers out there, it starts to change the picture. But I haven't been one of those gold bugs that says, the world's falling and everything's going to drive this to $4,000 an ounce. But anyway, we'll see where it takes us.
608-4386 to your headset?
That's right.
Have you had your coffee yet?
I'm drinking it right now.
Oh, boy. Have you had breakfast yet?
No.
Do you have a hard weekend? You sound tired.
I am tired. It was a long, it was a good weekend. It was Mother's Day.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Good.
Church was good yesterday, but we've been working a lot around our house. So,
you have to come to work to rest.
Yes, I get to sneak to work.
Attaboy.
So I got your question today. I think that does a little bit of self-inflection as you think about what animal am I?
Yeah, well, so what animal are you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about it. Probably like a weasel. They're pretty smart. They're pretty slick, but, they're darting in and out. You're never quite sure what th're going to do.
I think you're an otter.
An otter. Oh, I like that,
Well,
kind of playful,
You're playful and you swim on your back.
See, given your penchant for collecting things like money and investment and all that, you're kind of like some of the squirrels, shiny objects.
I like those otters. They wrap themselves up in the seaweed so they won't float away, and then they just sit out there in the sunshine.
You ought to be an otter.
I ought to be an otter. That's right.
All right.
Hey, you guys.
Thanks, buddy.
I can tell already. You're making it a great day.
All right. Thanks, pal. Have a good one.
Uh-huh.
All right. Kurt Bennett with the Bennett Group over at D.A. Davison Company this morning, 608-4386. We'll get you right to his headset. Coming up a little bit later on, we'll have the chief petitioner to Petition 22. We'll tell you what that's about. That's coming up in about 15, 20 minutes or so. In the meantime, the president raised a lot of money off of his stance of saying that he is for same-sex marriage, but it could cost him a lot of votes. In fact, it is showing now that quite a few people are saying no. He spoke over the weekend at the Shiloh Baptist Church, and the pastor said, "We do not stand with the president on his views of marriage. We believe that marriage is still between a man and a woman." There were a lot of amens in the congregation, but we do pray and stand with the president in prayer. But in the meantime, statistics show that 26% say that they support of gay marriage will most likely cost him votes. 13% said it'll probably gain him some votes. Well, that's still a net loss of 13%, so we'll see what happens on that. In the meantime, Newsweek has decided to put this picture. Now, for those of you watching on the Dove TV this morning, Newsweek has got a picture of, or listening on the radio, of the president with a rainbow halo over his head, kind of the gay ring over his head, with the title of the cover, "The First Gay President." I cannot believe we're doing this in the United States, and there it is. So anyway, it may have raised him a lot of money, but it looks like it's going to cost him a lot of votes. So we'll see. In the meantime, the weather, hot, and the possibility of some thunder activity around the mountains in the afternoon. 84 for Medford, Ashland, and Grants Pass, the forecasted high for today. Still staying in the mid-80s through the rest of the week with sunshine. Could see some thunder bumpers this afternoon. Almost the same thing over in the Klamath Falls area. 84 for a high today. Still staying in the 80 to 84 range for the rest of the week, and thunder activity possibility this afternoon. Along the coastline, a few showers this morning, and then you'll see some sun breaks for the rest of the week. Temperatures 60 to 62 stretched out through the week. And Northern California coming in with some very warm temperatures down there. 87 forecasted for Wairika today. Could see 90 tomorrow. And again, be ready for some afternoon thunderstorms. Currently, outside the studios, we're hanging in there at about, 59 to 60 degrees outside the studios. More news coming up in a few moments. Steve, what do you have for us?
Well, how do you like your food? Au naturel or a little bit genetically enhanced? Looks like a group of local farmers say, hey, let's have it as clean as we can. We'll tell you what's being done about that coming up.
Genetically
enhanced food.
Okay. We'll see what that's all about in 2 minutes here on The Morning Show.
Hi, I'm Tim the Timinator from Four Seasons Nursery. Thank you for watching and supporting the Dove and Christian Broadcasting. Like the folks at the Dove, we at Four Seasons value honesty, integrity, and quality. So if you're looking for great garden products such as vegetables, flowers, shrubs, or trees, come by and check us out. I'm sure you'll find the success you're looking for.
Four Seasons Nursery, half a mile north of Vilas Road on Crater Lake Avenue.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Why are you still sitting on that couch? You know you could be out there cooking for a living. You speak food. That's why you got to call Le Cordon Bleu. They'll help get you out there with training in less time than you think. Sounds good, right? So grab your phone right now and call Le Cordon Bleu. They'll send you a complimentary career guide so you can see what it's really like to work in the culinary arts.
Call 1-800-761-0650 or text GOLCB25 to 94576. Call or text now.
Did you call yet?
Oh, wow! Letters stand for Oregon Women of the Word. It is a biblical conference that we give once a year, and you need to bring your Bible because you will open it.
Denominational barriers are dropped.
It's close.
I've made many friends.
It's affordable.
I enjoyed Kari a lot. I got a lot out of her teaching.
For seminar details, go to OregonWomenOfTheWord.org.
They fought back from a broken and painful marriage.
Sometimes I didn't like you, but I've always thought you're the hottest thing on the planet.
John and Helen Burns answer your relationship questions.
You cannot microwave a good marriage. It takes time to build it.
Smart, unpredictable.
Well, there's a lot of really beautiful, physical, attractive people out there, but they're jerks.
Relate.
Honestly,
you're getting close to me cutting and saying we did new show. This doesn't work.
9 o'clock tonight on the Dove TV.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm telling you the truth.
It's Mornings on the Dove at 27 minutes before 8 o'clock. I'm Steve Johnson, and here's what's happening in our news today. A group of local farmers and food activists want Jackson County to pass an ordinance banning the planting of genetically modified plants in the southwestern Oregon County. Commissioners say they're looking into the issue, including whether they could legally pass such a county law. Members of the group GMO Free Jackson County asked commissioners last week to ban plants with genetic alterations without a citizens' initiative. Well, the second week of the Eagle Point strike begins today with students returning to classes. Today, the students return to classrooms despite protesting teachers and staff. Many will be taught by substitutes and teachers who have crossed the picket lines. Mike Remick represents the district administration. He says they've mailed a schedule of where and when classes will take place throughout the district for parents to send their children.
We'll have White City Elementary will be open on Monday, and they'll have a number of schools that will be feeding into that. And then the high school will be open, and the middle schools will be feeding into the high school. And so they'll have high school and middle schools at different times of the day. So it won't be all the same population, be different groups that will be in there. And then Shady Cove will be open, and they will have Elk Trail students that will be there as well.
Now, if you need more information to figure out where to send your child, you can call the school this morning. The number is 541-830-6697. Negotiators on the teachers' union side and those representing the administration start talks again tomorrow. Well, just days into Oregon's first season of mandatory boat inspections, Department of Fish and Wildlife officials have already discovered 2 watercraft carrying invasive mussels. Last year, when the program was voluntary, inspectors found 6 boats, all season, with quagga or zebra mussels. Mussels have already invaded the Great Lakes and other American waterways, causing millions of dollars in damage. The Oregon Supreme Court ruling that people suspected of drunk driving are not off the hook just because their blood alcohol content is measured below the legal limit. The court decided to allow expert testimony concluding that the driver's alcohol level was above the legal limit at the time he was stopped, even if it had fallen below 0.08 before it was measured. Well, the city of Medford might have to decide if a painting on a local pipe shop is a mural or graffiti. During business hours, you can't see much of the painting that's on the front of the 42 Degree store in central Medford. But when the store closes and the security shades come down, there's more to see. That is what apparently has caused some residents to complain to the city about the 2-week-old painting. They say it violates the sign code. But co-owner David Parnell says it really doesn't meet the strict definition of a sign.
There's no words, there's nothing to advertise our business. All it is just paint on our building, just like any other place that chooses to paint. But for some reason, the neighbors don't like us, and they feel that it represents what we sell in the store and feel that we're bringing down the neighborhood, as they say it.
Now it looks as if the city attorney may get involved. Parnell says he's been told the next step is to decide on the category of the front of the business and whether it is a sign or a mural. A groundbreaking ceremony will take place today at 11 a.m. This is for Ashland Fire Station number 2. You might recall last week, demolition of a 4,000-square-foot station built decades ago made way for the 10,000-plus-square-foot facility that will be built on the same site. The new structure has been designed to meet LEED Silver standards and includes sustainable features such as water-permeable concrete and pavers and solar water heating. Well, you know, we talk about people doing some pretty interesting, if not amazing things. How about a guy from Bend who is a marathoner, but with a little bit of a twist?
He's old.
I am not sure how old this guy is. We've had a lot of stories this morning, you're right, about people who are older than some people who are younger. Let's
there you go.
Put it in those terms.
Remember, older women make better cyclists.
Okay. Well, let me tell you about Ian Sharman. He likes a little bit of an extra challenge. Jim would like this. Since Jim is doing the Pear Blossom every now and then, I think he should do this. Sharman recently set the Guinness record for the fastest marathon dressed as Elvis.
Really?
It's true. He completed the 26-mile course.
Thank you very much.
In just under 2 hours, 41 minutes. Now, I don't know what era of Elvis this was. It couldn't have been the fat Elvis. He couldn't have done that. But maybe it was with more of the pompadour, but that'd be wind resistance. So anyway, he's also run marathons dressed as Spider-Man,
really,
Santa, and a Roman gladiator. That Roman gladiator is almost a little frightening, I think.
So did he have the big wig on and all that?
It could be. Now,
did he have a high collar?
He does all this stuff. He takes some of this more seriously, and I mean, even though, look, a guy who can do this kind of stuff can wear whatever he wants. He's an ultra marathoner. Do you know what that means? Do you know what an ultra marathoner is?
He runs more than one a year.
An ultra marathoner is somebody who runs 100 miles.
In a row?
Yes, 100 miles in a row. You don't do every other one, then you'd be a 50 marathon.
At the same time?
Well,
yes. Yeah. So isn't that amazing? Jim and I were talking about that last week.
Is
it's
it physically
amazing.
Possible?
Yeah, well, he's done it.
Is it, Jim? Is it physically possible?
Ian Sharman
nodding
did
his
those
head
things. Wow. So this guy, I don't know if when he does that, he's up there in Bend. If you run into him, I'd love to interview him on
He's still
on all
running.
this. Yeah, he's still running. I don't know how old he is, but whether he runs the ultra marathon in a costume or not, you'd have to be pretty serious.
So if you run 100 miles, how long does it take you?
Yeah, that I don't know. I can tell you though, his 26-mile course, 2 hours 41 minutes.
Oh, that's a marathon.
Dressed as Elvis. Yeah,
that's a regular marathon.
That's
okay.
really good though.
Whoa.
But the ultra marathon, don't know how long. I think the fact that you just complete it is probably enough.
Well, it would be
Not
all
how
day.
long it takes you.
If he's running 26 miles in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I'm wondering, can I do what Paulina said? Do 100 miles, but do it like in 100 days, a mile a day. Give me the 3-month plan.
What did you just say? As long as you complete it.
That's it. I think that's the key. Yeah. So congratulations, Ian Sharman. If you see a guy running as Elvis, it is, hey, Ian, how you doing? It's probably him.
All right. Good morning to you. 7:39, 21 minutes before the hour. 60 degrees outside the studios, and we have some clouds and sunshine kind of mixed together out there. I want to remind you of a fundraiser concert tonight with the Cutlass lead singer, and all of this is for little Dominic Roby. I don't know if you remember us talking to his dad last week, and Dominic had some really severe birth defects when he was born and wasn't able to see or hear. All of that is slowly improving, and there is some special therapy that they can get him, and it is expensive, so this concert is to help little Dominic raise the funds so that he can have some special therapy that will encourage him and strengthen his ability to see and to hear. And it was really quite a story. And the fact that he is seeing a little bit now and hearing a little bit now is, quite frankly, a miracle. So it's all taking place. And where is that? You have the paper.
Table Rock Fellowship
Table Rock
tonight.
Fellowship tonight. All right.
Yeah, tonight.
So we want to see you be a part of that. All right, we have a fun Facebook question going on today. It's kind of interesting. Paulina?
What animal describes you best and why? And I was thinking about you, Perry. You said eagle. I was cheating and I went on a website that kind of talks about animal symbolism. And each animal has many, many qualities, of course. When you put in curiosity, 2 comes up, otter and raccoon. So, Steve, you can be a raccoon if you want.
I could. A raccoon who also looks like an anteater?
Sure, yes. When I put wise, because I was thinking about you, Perry, rabbit came up. I don't think you're a rabbit.
Rabbit?
So, rabbit, yeah.
You sure it wasn't rabbi?
No. Oh,
Okay.
I know. Never
Just
mind.
wondering.
No, I messed up. When I put humility, rabbit came. A bunny. But when I put wise, there were several. And so you have a choice. Either you're a cougar, a crab, or the third one, hawk.
The hawk.
Yeah, so
They want to
combine
fly.
the 3, yeah. But you still want to be an eagle.
Yeah, well, aren't eagles wise?
Sure. If you are.
I guess I'm not.
You're just not a bald eagle.
I don't claim to be wise. I just like to fly.
Okay. Well, you're
All
an
right,
eagle.
741 here at the Dove this morning. Taking a quick look at the temperatures around the neighborhood this morning. Things are warming up, and we're going to see that afternoon thunder activity, so be ready for that. In the meantime, almost 60 degrees in Klamath Falls right now. Wairika moving up through the mid-50s. The coastline somewhat consistent. 50 for Brookings and Gold Beach, 52 for Port Orford and into the Coos Bay area. And the Roseburg area coming through the mid-50s now for Roseburg and Myrtle Creek and Canyonville. And we're now moving into the low 60s for Grants Pass and Medford. We're looking for temperatures there to be in the 80s today with thunder buildup around the mountains for the Medford Grants Pass area. for the Klamath Basin and down in Northern California. So be ready for that later on this afternoon. Right now, 60 degrees outside the studios. Well, coming up, more news. Steve, what do you have for us?
Yes, well, of course, the kids are back in school in the Eagle Point School District. We'll tell you about that. If you need more questions answered, we've got a phone number for you. And also, we'll update you on what's happening in Greece, because they've got some financial problems that could very well impact us here. That's all coming up.
And don't forget, your ballots are due tomorrow, so don't mail it today. Drop it off at one of the drop-off boxes around the county, usually at the libraries or down at the main elections office there on Main Street. Get your ballots in the box today, all right? Get them in today, no later than tomorrow. Tomorrow is Election Day here in the state of Oregon. All right, 7:43, more news coming up in just a couple of minutes.
So here we go again. Oh yeah, hanging out with all the friends. Let's do this. Living for the weekend. Wishing that I never dance.
Coming May 18th to the NAS, a Taste of Summer Music Fest 2012, an event that will take you on a journey from a relaxing beach to the most extreme sounds of summer. Here, take a listen.
Sundown, sundown. Everything's gonna be alright, yeah. As we're dancing in the sunlight. Yesterday, today, forever. All may change, but you will never.
See, there's something for everyone. And if that's not enough excitement, we will be giving away a free iPad and apparel package to one lucky ticket holder. Tickets available at all Evangel Store locations at the NAS and online at 4dpix.com. Proceeds from this event will benefit Impact Athletics of Southern Oregon. Diadem and Pure Vintage Apparel will be on hand to outfit you in the latest gear. Once again, May 18th at the NAS. One night, 4 bands, music for all ages. Doors open at 6, entertainment starts at 6:30. Bring your friends and we'll see you there.
So shine on down.
Eric Stackelbeck.
Whether it's the jihad against Israel and America,
there's a great concern about the Iranian-backed Hezbollah.
Terrorism, the rise of Islam, war in the Middle East.
The idea of Israel taking over Palestine even adds to that fuel.
Do you ever get the feeling that none of it is a coincidence?
Get a unique perspective on the news not seen anywhere else on Stackelbeck.
And it's something I'm going to be talking a lot more about in the weeks and months to come.
Stackelbeck, 7:30 Wednesday on the Dove TV.
It's 15 minutes before 8 o'clock. I'm Steve Johnson, and here's what's happening in our news headlines today. U.S. Treasury debt prices are rising as Greece edges towards exiting the euro currency, spreading uncertainty through global markets. Greek political parties were deadlocked Monday, more than a week after elections in which voters rejected politicians responsible for imposing deep spending cuts by demanding that by the demands by Greece's lenders. Greece needs the bailout to stay afloat, but the spending cuts have drawn violent opposition from voters. Best Buy's founder, Richard Schultz, stepping down as chairman after an investigation found that he knew that the CEO was having a relationship with a female employee and didn't alert the audit committee. Best Buy hired an outside law firm in March to investigate then CEO Brian Dunn, who resigned in April. The company found that Dunn had a close personal relationship with a female employee that showed poor judgment. A man who set off a months-long search for his 3 children when he allegedly abducted and took them to the Bahamas on a sailboat is scheduled to be in Montana court to change his plea. James Bryant of Belgrade pleaded not guilty in April to 3 counts of parenting influence. He's due in state court on Monday for a change of plea hearing. Well, it's back to school for students in the Eagle Point School District. The 4,100 students in the 11 schools will be seeing some familiar faces of teachers who've crossed picket lines, as well as those of fill-in substitutes. Now, the strike continues into its second week, though negotiators won't be back at the table until tomorrow. The district's Mike Remick says all students in the district will be able to attend school through classes, though they may be different at different schools and at different times than before the strike.
We're hopeful and encouraging all parents to send their children to school. There will be bus schedules, and there will be schedules, and schedules have been sent out to parents to let them know if they're either the AM schedule or the PM schedule.
And while parents were mailed a new strike schedule, more information is available by calling 541-830-6697. Well, tomorrow is the Oregon primary election. Ballots are cast by mail, and if you haven't mailed yours in, make sure you take advantage of the drop boxes around the county.
Those are at the Eagle Point Branch Library. We have a 24-hour drop site there that sits right out in front of their main door. Central Point Library, same thing. Ashland Public Library around the back side of the building on the main entrance. Of course, the Jackson County Elections Office right at the front of the building. We have a drive-up that you can drive your ballot right up there and drop it off, or you can bring it inside if you're more comfortable doing that.
That is Jackson County Clerk Chris Walker. There's also another drop site available at the Central Point City Hall. Ballots are due tomorrow by 8 p.m. A former member of the Beaverton Grace Bible Church who started a blog is being sued by the pastor. Julianne Smith says the Beaverton Grace Bible Church Survivors blog is a place for former members and others to share their opinions and experiences. The lawsuit filed by Pastor Charles O'Neill claims words including creepy and control tactics amount to defamation. Smith's lawyer says the lawsuit is frivolous. The city of Medford may have to decide if a painting on a local pipe shop is a mural or graffiti. During business hours, you really can't see much of the painting that's on the front of the 42-degree store in central Medford. But when the store closes and the security shades come down, there's more to see. That's what has apparently caused some residents to complain to the city about the 2-week-old painting. They say it violates the sign code. But co-owner David Parnell says it doesn't meet the strict definition of a sign.
There's no words, there's nothing to advertise our business. All it is just paint on our building, just like any other place that chooses to paint. But for some reason, the neighbors don't like us, and they feel that it represents what we sell in the store and feel that we're bringing down the neighborhood, as they say it.
Now it looks as if the city attorney may get involved. Parnell says he's been told the next step is to decide on the category of the front of the business and whether the sign is a mural or not. Well, the way things are going, basketball fans are going to have to retire their Los Angeles Clipper jokes. Jim McCoy has more about LA's other basketball team.
Kenyon Martin scored 7 of his 11 points in the fourth quarter, and the Los Angeles Clippers, yes, the Clippers, advanced to the Western Conference semifinals with an 82-72 victory over the Memphis Grizzlies in Game 7 on Sunday. The Clippers won only their third postseason series in 41 years. They also avoided becoming the 9th NBA team to blow a 3-1 lead in a best-of-7 series. They move on to play the top-seeded Spurs starting tomorrow night in San Antonio. A hobbled-up Chris Paul overcame his injuries to score 19 points to lead the Clippers. With sports, I'm Jim McCoy.
Hey, thank you very much, Jim. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, we started the show off with the category of people who did some things that are belie their age. There, was that a political way of saying it? Vote for me! People who are older than what you might think they could do what they did. I'm going to tell you about another guy.
Okay.
The guy's not that he's so old, but he had to do a whole lot of stuff to get where he is now. And at 52 years old, he got his college degree. Now, that's not so old, but it took Gak Afilabaj a dozen years to finish the courses. Here's what happened. He fled the civil war in Yugoslavia back in 1992. Okay, because he didn't want to be drafted into the Serb-led army. For 7 years, he had to learn English. And then he took a job as a janitor at Columbia College. Apparently what they have, and he chose Columbia to do his janitor work overnight, you know?
So you could go to school during the day?
Well, not only that, but apparently they give you 14 free credits a year if you are an employee there. So he did that. And so it took him all this time to be able to get his degree while he worked as a janitor. So there you go. His favorite subject is Seneca, the Roman philosopher and statesman, whose letters he read in Latin, and he still sends home to his family. They're struggling on a farm in Montenegro. So congratulations to you, Felipe.
Felipe,
yeah,
congratulations.
Good job.
Hey, I have a question for you back
Sure,
to one
what's
of your
that?
news story.
Uh-huh.
That story with the building being painted?
Yes, the pipe shop here
Yeah.
in Medford.
Question, do you think it's a painting A mural or a sign?
Well, that's what we mentioned. The city attorney is going to have to help decide that. I don't know if he wanted to become an art aficionado or not. But I think what you have to do is look at what the law says for what defines graffiti or a mural. Apparently, it's not graffiti because one of the rules of laws in graffiti is that it was an unapproved painting. Well, these two guys own the store, and they had this guy paint it. So it's not graffiti. So now, is it a sign?
No, I don't think it's a sign. I think it's a mural.
Then it's a mural. And there are no codes. Now, some cities have codes against murals, you know, certain types and all that. Apparently, it looks as if we don't. We're going to have to investigate that a little bit more. So it's a very interesting story.
See how this one turns out.
Yeah.
All right, 8 before 8 and coming up at 8, let's see, I'll have Greg Matt with me. He's going to be talking about I Am Changes Who I Am. Okay. We'll talk about that. Colleen Roberts will be with us. She's one of the candidates for Jackson County Commissioner. And Stuart Whitmore will be with us talking about suicide prevention. So quite an active show coming up next hour. In the meantime, we've had a very interesting Facebook question of the day. And it is, Paulina?
Well, we were talking about how animals sometimes start looking like their owners.
They
pets.
do, yes.
Or no. The owners look like their pets, right? Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, so we're asking, who do you think, what animals describes you, whether it's your pet or not?
Yeah.
And that's on our Facebook page. So if you have any, if you want to have a response to that, go to our Facebook page, theDove Radio on Facebook.
Okay. And Steve wants to be a aardvark.
Well, I mentioned anteater, not because, and I said they have a long nose. That's not it. It's really they got long lips. Goes way out, and they're always, they're hunting around for food, and I kind of have been known to do that on occasion.
And I came as a bald eagle. Paulina, you haven't declared who you are.
I haven't, and I'm not going to.
Ooh. But we have kind of tagged her as a
yes, you said the tiger.
Siberian tiger, which is all white.
I'll go with that.
A young one, a cub, Siberian young cub tiger.
Not
female.
an aged one.
Female,
right?
no. So, and there's a lot of reasons for that I haven't got time now to explain. All right, the weather. It is important because we have some activities going on out there. Medford, Ashland, Grants Pass, and vicinity. Look for some warm temperatures over the next several days. 84 today, forecasted high tomorrow, 86. However, today could produce some thunder activities in and around the hills, so be careful. Almost the same thing over in the Klamath Basin, 84 for a forecasted high today, staying in the low 80s throughout the week. But again, thunder activity forecasted for later on today. The coastline could see some showers today, and then sun breaks tomorrow, 61, 62 for a high. Pretty nice along the coastline. Northern California, Mount Shasta, Wairika area, well, pretty warm. 87 for today. Forecasted tomorrow to be 90 and then back to 87. However, today will produce some thunder showers, so be careful, okay, in around those thunder showers. Currently outside the studios, we've bumped up to about 61 degrees and some clouds and sunshine mixed. Don't forget your ballots. You know your ballots because tomorrow is Election Day in the state of Oregon. And I would highly encourage you to drive your ballots to one of the drop-off points and put them in the box. Do not hand them to anybody alongside. Just make sure you put them in the appropriate box yourself. But you should drive them to the drop-off points today and tomorrow. Tomorrow is Election Day. So get your ballots in. Do your civic responsibility and get your ballots in. All right, coming up, some special guests in the studio.
All of us at theDove TV want to thank you